Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I just got a really good comment, and what it was, they were talking about in their the way they look at things. They believe that it's the overpopulation that's causing all the problems that we're having in the United States, and he can see where we're going to have problems, and he could see where martial law is going to be called in, and he listed some different things that makes it. One of the things was, as the population grows, there's more cars, and there's more cars, there's more fuel, and this type of stuff. And I made me stop and think. And what it is, I think I'm going to have to add philosopher to what I do also. Well, the first thing is when he was mentioning about the oil, and we're losing the oil, and all this is irreplaceable and all this kind of stuff. There's so much misinformation. There's so many so-called professionals that know what they're talking about that it's getting everything all messed up. For one thing, this is why the older I get, the more I lose respect in science, in education, in medical, in government. There's so many things that I lose respect since I get older, because I have seen these so-called professionals are more like educated idiots. They talk as if they know what they're talking about. A good example is the oil. Now that falls under, I don't know, education or scientists, I don't know. But I was told when I was being brought up that these dinosaurs fell into this pit, and then their bodies changed into oil through millions of years, and it's irreplaceable. We're limited on what we can have. And I believed that crap, and then I got into the oil business. And then I found out when I was looking for oil, I wasn't looking for pits that have been covered for millions of years. That's not what I was looking for. So, and I'll tell you the truth, I still don't know where the oil comes from. I am under the impression, the best that I was able to get out of what I experienced was our Earth creates oil. How? I don't know. But some way or another, it does create it. And but there's still a lot of stuff I don't know. But anyway, I know it's not from a bunch of dinosaurs falling in a pit. So, and like I say, so there's things like that have been pushed on us through the years. And they try to make it look as if, talking about the overpopulation. I can't deny the fact of overpopulation. I can deny the fact that as humans, we are above overpopulation, like Mother Nature makes things. When there's not enough critters for the bigger animals to eat, then the bigger animals, the numbers start declining because they don't have the smaller ones to chow down on. So, but they're under no management. They're just animals living as natural animals do. In other words, when there's plenty of food, they have a big population during droughts and stuff like that. When they start losing their food, the population starts coming down. Us as humans, if we were smart, like these educated idiots are supposed to be, they could figure out a way of balancing the population with our growth. But there is a limit to that. We can do it, but there is a limit on what we can do it. In other words, you can have a small village and you can grow your little village, but after it grows so big, it starts turning into a regular town or a city, and then things start getting complicated. And so I look at it more like I say, I'm from Oklahoma. We got cattle, and you got your homestead. You can get a half a dozen cattle out there on your homestead, and you can do pretty good with it. I mean, it's enough to make a living and create a life. Now you're not going to have it if you want all the fancy stuff, But I mean, if you just want to enjoy life, that's what you can do. And now the thing is, once you start saying, well, look how much money I make with 6 cattle, and if I had 60, I could make even more. Yes, you can. But the thing is, 6 cows pooping, the bugs and the birds and the critters can eat their poop, and what little bit of poop they're going to have will be able to be washed away and absorbed into the ground, and it won't be no problem. The problem is when you get a whole bunch of them, they're pooping all over, and then all that poop becomes toxic. You're not able to move it enough. Kind of like people in the city. In the country, you can make an outhouse and you can survive okay. You can make, we have septic tanks. We don't use outhouses anymore, but you can make a septic tank pretty easy. But what I'm saying is, when there's a small number, you can do something. As the numbers enlarge, it starts getting a lot of disease. That's where the overpopulation is. In other words, you can raise critters, but when you get too many critters, then you start getting diseases and all kinds of stuff. So, but as humans, we should be able to manage this, and we don't. And but anyway, so he mentioned the martial law. And like I say, I do live in martial law, and it made me start thinking. And I tell you the truth, I got a pretty good life down here, and I'm trying to figure out why. And so as I think about it, and I look around and I see what I'm surrounded by, I've noticed that the rich and powerful have a pretty good life. Now, I'm not rich nor powerful, but I still got a good life. And so I'm thinking, well, why is that? And then that made me think more of really who I am and why am I like this. And that is an American. I am an American. And I came around about at the last time when true Americans were true Americans. Now, the United States of America was really created as an experiment, and it was to see what happens to people when they are allowed to govern themselves. And it was really kind of neat. You could see through our history, when it first started, we had strength because we wanted to govern ourselves. We had control of our lives. Everybody produced, everybody created something. And when you couldn't do it alone, you worked with others. Kind of like the three-man militia that I keep talking about. Okay, they're coming together, strong individuals coming together, and they do wonderful, creative ideas, and they're able to make them work. That's how the United States came about. Now, through time, we've got lazy. And that's what I was saying. I come around probably about the end of the time. My time, there was just about everybody took personal responsibility. Now they don't. And even a lot of people at my age have given up taking personal responsibility. One of the things that they always say is, well, I'm old, I deserve. You don't deserve a damn thing. I don't know why people think they deserve. You have to get out and you have to work, pay the price for freedom, create, do something. But people don't do that anymore. That's not even a mindset. I've even noticed it in, like I say, my children. They're looking more for a job. They weren't really looking to create. So that's been taken out of us, and as that creativity and that willingness to work hard and work with others, as we lose that, I've noticed we kind of turn to sheeple or zombies. We do what we're told. We're not smart enough. We don't create. We don't try to work with others. What we're looking for is security. What we're looking for is convenience, easy. We don't want to put out the effort. And when that happens, you lose your freedom. And another thing, I had somebody ask me down here, because they can't figure me out down here. And I used to try to tell them, well, I'm free, I'm a free man. But then I have to explain to them, what is freedom? I mean, they walk the same streets as I do. Some have cars, they drive. What makes me any different than them? And it's the freedom. And I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to put it in words. But anyway, that's what's going on in the United States. The people are not free. They don't have the mentality of freedom. And that's why you're back to the preppers. The preppers, to be free, you have to pay the price. And the price is to prepare. You just aren't free and it's given to you. Freedom is something you pay for, and you continually pay for it. And you do it by taking personal responsibility. But there is the downfall of the United States is coming. You can't doubt it. And the people will accept martial law. And the people that are that have true freedom, I don't know if they're all going to be like me or not. I don't know. I just know, I'm free. And I know what freedom is, and I live it, and I do it. And I've done it pretty much all my life. And so it is an attitude. I know that. And I do know I am a whole lot freer now than I was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And that's because I've prepared and I've worked for it. And like I say, whatever the price I have to pay, I pay. That's freedom. That's the attitude you have to have. That's why you see on my videos, there's little I have to fear. And I say that I'm a God-fearing man that fears no man. That's kind of like what free people think. Now I know some of you aren't going to like this, but I'll tell you, the downfall and the attitude change and all this, the reason is it's because of the men in our population. I'm talking about the United States now. Well, really, it's throughout the world. The men don't know how to act like men. They don't stand like a man. They don't have principles, morals. They don't have guts or the balls to stand like a man. They're all worried about their convenience. They're all worried about their security. They're not worried about their freedom. That's what got us into this mess. And this mess is going to continue. It's going to be a whole cycle we're going to go through. But I'll tell you what, when we divide, like I say, the United States has got the middle class. There is no middle class. It's dwindling down like that. We have the rich and the poor. And that's what they have down here. And but it's like I say, the rich and the powerful is what it is. Now, there is ways of getting, not being involved in neither one, either as a peasant or as the rich and powerful. And the only way you can do that is by being free. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.